Hey, how are you? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Drew, aka Booty Sweat, and today we're going to be continuing on with our MK11 Masterclass, and we're going to be talking about wake-ups, wake-up options, how to beat certain wake-up options, how to utilize them, that sort of thing. So what is a wake-up? So a lot of times you'll hear this term, Oki. What is Oki? It's short for Okizeme. What that means is it is a situation in which one person is knocked down and the other is deciding how to pressure them, while the one who's knocked down has to figure out how to wake up. Do they wake up, press buttons? Do they wake up and block? Whatever. That's Oki. That's what Oki is. And so the interesting thing about Mortal Kombat 11 is that and I say interesting, a lot of people would say frustrating, is that people who are on the ground actually have a lot of options for how they want to wake up. And we're going to go over some of that here today in this video. So if you're enjoying this series, make sure you like and subscribe. If it's giving you any kind of, if it's giving you any help, if you're finding any value in it, make sure you do that for me. It would help me out a lot. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing that I want to go over is just the delayed wake up. So what that means is normally when you get knocked down, you get back up in a certain amount of time, depending on the moves. Some moves keep you down longer and give you more, give your opponent more hit advantage, that sort of thing. But the delayed wake up allows you to kind of control how fast you wake up. You can either wake up the normal amount of time, or you can delay it by just a bit. It's pretty self-explanatory, so I'm not going to go too far over that one. I mean, basically the use of it is to kind of throw off your opponent's wake up options, or throw off their pressure options if they're trying to Oki you, if they're trying to hit you with a meaty. What a meaty is a move that is in its active frames right as the opponent is able to be hit after standing up, so they have to block or else they're going to get hit. That's the case in most games. So if your opponent is really trying to meaty you, then you can delay wake up and kind of throw that out, get some certain kind of whiff punishes and stuff like that. The problem with meatying in this game is it's not as effective as it is in a lot of games, because there are other wake up options. So you hold down the stance change button to delay wake up. Again, all it does is throw off the timing which you get up. It can be useful for throwing off the opponent, making them whiff things. But an additional type of move that you get in this game is a wake up attack. And you do these by either pressing up 3 or up 2 whenever you're getting up from being knocked down. So up 3 will actually give you invincibility. Up 2 has no invincibility, but will get you a full combo. And I'll show you those real quick. So you see she hits me down, I hit up 3, and I get this invincible attack. And that will hit opponents that are trying to pressure you on wake up, and it's invincible, so again, they can't do anything about it. Stop it, Marina. They can't do anything about it. They just kind of have to eat that. Now, I'm going to teach you how to beat that later on, but just know that that's kind of how you use that. Now you can use up 2, and that will actually, it doesn't have invincibility on wake up, but it'll get you a full combo if it hits. So not bad overall. That's a pretty good option. A lot of people will kind of they'll get hit by that, especially if they are kind of newer players and stuff. That can hit a lot of people and really get you a lot of damage. And then if you're Baraka, you got all kinds of cool options. Say well, I don't have any offensive meter now because that uses up get up attacks use 1 defensive and 1 offensive meter. So you have to make sure that you have those available, or else you won't be able to use it. The next thing we're going to go over really quick is the wake up roll. Now the way you do this is, again, if you want to do the delayed wake up, you hold down the stance switch button, left trigger, L2, whatever it is depending on your platform. And the way you do a roll is you also press that same button, but you press forward or back as you're getting up, and you press it with that button. And that'll let you either roll forward or backward on wake up. Forward or backward. Okay, so again, just to kind of reiterate, say that I'm going to do a meaty on Melina. I have her set up to do her get up attack, so I can't really meaty or anything like that, right? Well, how do you beat something like this? If you have an opponent who is really abusing that and really kind of doing that a lot, or you just want to be on the safe side, a great way to do that is, again, we talked about micro dashes in the combo video. But you can back up, or you can do a little micro dash back or whatever, and really kind of bait these things out. So you see, you can whiff punish that if they throw it out and it misses. Another way that I like to take advantage of people who are using wake up attacks, especially if they're in the corner using them a lot. Look at Baraka just give Melina a little smooch there. Is you can just do a neutral jump on their wake up and apply pressure that way, especially because you get plus frames after jump in attacks. So if they go for the wake up attack, you end up with a giant combo if you bait that out. So, pretty cool stuff. That's the best way to beat wake up attacks. Keep in mind with the corner thing though, if you've done that a couple of times, they can use a wake up 2 instead of up 3, and they'll hit you out of your jump. So there are ways to get around that, but the best way to get around the wake up attacks and stuff like that is to just kind of play from about this range on wake up. If you have a character that has good mids, you can meaty with those. And that way, if they're getting up and using a wake-up attack, then you're going to get a whiff punish from that, right? And I have easy crushing blows on, but keep in mind, I mean, Baraka's forward 4/4, it crushing blows on a counter or a punish. So, you know, you can get all kinds of cool stuff like that. So keep that in mind. Now, how do you beat the wake-up roll? So say your opponent really likes to roll, and that has invincibility, and it gets out of your pressure all the time, and then they end up, you know, hitting you, right? So how do you counter that? Well, you have to read it. You can't really react to it, unfortunately. You have to read it, but throws will actually hit opponents out of their rolls. So if they are trying to wake up roll constantly, then you have a way to beat that with a throw. Again, you kind of have to make the read to do that. But really the best way, honestly, that I've found to use rolls is kind of to reset neutral. So I typically, unless I'm in the corner, and even then it's pretty easy to predict and end up getting thrown out of it, but unless I'm in the corner, I will usually wake up roll backwards to kind of reset neutral a little bit and get out of their pressure, rather than forward, because you can get thrown out of a back roll, but it's much more difficult than a forward roll for them to throw you out of. So, and then some characters also have specific abilities that they can use to beat your rolls. For instance, Baraka, his blood lunge ability, which I don't have on this variation, but if I did, I could theoretically blood lunge a roll, and that gets a crushing blow as well. So different characters have different ways of dealing with rolls, but the best way to deal with it with every character is to just kind of make that read and throw them. If you know they want to do it, then, whoops, if you know they want to do it, then just throw them. So this is a pretty quick one, but overall, I just want to kind of go over what is the best way to play when your opponent is knocked down. You get that awesome knockdown. What do you do? So a lot of people in a lot of fighting games, because it's good in most fighting games, is to try and meaty, making their opponent have to block or spend resources to do a reversal or whatever, like in Street Fighter V. But in Mortal Kombat 11, because they have all these different options, meatying is not always very reliable. So really the most reliable way to play at your opponent at this range when you have them knocked down. You have them knocked down, and then use your long normals to meaty them. With Baraka, I love to just throw out another back 4 just to kind of pressure, or you can do this forward 4/4. Don't be right up here when your opponent gets knocked down, because if you do that, you're going to get wake up attacked, you're going to get punished because you're going to commit to a string while they do a wake up roll out of it. You know, it makes it more difficult to throw them out of their wake up roll, all that kind of stuff. So really you want to be playing from about this range when you are dealing with somebody who's on the ground. I think it's interesting, again, a lot of people say it's an unfortunate thing about Mortal Kombat 11 that the opponent has so many options while they're on the ground, but you know, it's just kind of part of the game at this point. So just keep that in mind. Always also be prepared to block people who will do wake up fatal blows and wake up buttons and stuff like that. If they do that, then you're going to hit them out of it with your meaty or punish it. So don't worry too much about that. Just make sure you're being careful. In a lot of games, it's easy to just go YOLO and start, you know, hitting them with buttons on their wake up. especially if like in Street Fighter 5 they don't have meters, so they can't do an invincible reversal. There's no reason not to get in there and pressure them on their wake up, because that's the most effective way to play in that game. But in Mortal Kombat 11, you just have to be more careful. You have to really think about what you're doing. So anyway, if you have any more questions, thoughts, concerns, anything like that, make sure you leave it down in the comments below. All right, that's going to do it for this one. Have a good one. Be blessed.